Gramsci, a leader of the Italian Socialist Party in the early 20th century and a founder of the Italian Communist Party. He was arrested by Mussolini's fascist state in 1926 and stayed in prison until he died 11 years later. His overwhelming concern was why the poor, the working class, the oppressed were not revolting in the wake of World War I, and why many in Europe, instead of organizing socialist revolutions, were embracing fascism and the authoritarian and explicitly violent form of capitalism. Well, Gramsci observed that capitalist authority was maintained not only through violence and political and economic coercion, but also through its cultural and intellectual dominance. But what Gramsci added was looking at the historical process through which the ruling class developed what he called a hegemonic culture. The ruling class, by controlling the means of intellectual and cultural production, propagates its own values, perceptions, and ideas so that they gradually become the common sense of all of us. Gramsci's second contribution was to maintain that a key part of the process of social transformation had to be cultural and intellectual engagement, and through that, transformation of the ruling hegemony. To challenge the notion that bourgeois values and ways of seeing were normal, natural, universal, and unchanging, the rest of us need, he wrote, to develop a counter-hegemony that embodies our values, our ways of seeing and thinking and relating. Further, Gramsci maintained that the creation of a new dominant hegemony cannot come about through force and coercion. Rather, he argues, we must exert intellectual, cultural, and ethical leadership over a long period of time to a wide spectrum of social forces to create what he called an historic bloc. A frontal assault on state power such as Lenin and the Bolsheviks pulled off in Russia, or Mao and the Communist Party did in China, might happen without first developing a new cultural hegemony, but they could not sustain themselves without at the same time creating a new cultural hegemony. What Gramsci contributes then is an increased recognition of the subjective factor in the process of social transformation and a new strategic vision. What Gramsci didn't provide were tactics. The work of figuring that out has been left to us, the tens of thousands, maybe millions of people who are right now laboring to build just such environments in all corners of the earth.